Let's start with 10 March 2022. Well, after almost about 4:30. Damn it! Sorry, I'm gonna have to adjust this stupid thing a little closer. I'm just pulling out of the Starbucks parking lot here in Bakersfield. I'm just about to enter the 58 East, and I got my camera going, and we're gonna film the road to Tehachapi and see what we can see. So there's some interesting things. Some guy walking down the street carrying his life's possessions, maybe. I don't know. Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. I just thought that was an interesting thing to encounter right off the bat like that. But so here we go, and this has been a really cool little area. It's just outside of Bakersfield on the California 58 heading east, and you can see those mountains ahead. So at the very towards the very top of the mountain, we'll be going over this mountain pass basically, and so there's a little town called Tehachapi, which there's a thing right there. It says Tehachapi. All right. 31 miles. So this is a nice little stretch right here. It's before we even get into the hills, there's this nice long valley outside of Bakersfield where there's all this obviously agricultural stuff going on, and I've always really liked this little patch of driving, I guess. I've made this trip a number of times with going to Vegas, going to Pahrump, and we just always really enjoyed this little stretch. And I've even done I can remember way back in the day I did a voice memo on this particular leg right here, and I think it was one of those that you kind of remember for its it's not super profound, but it was probably more profound than what I'm talking about right now. I don't know if you can see that to the right. There's even an oil derrick, and it's not going, so that well must be dry right now, because these are what are called or typically have been called, it's called marginal wells. And so marginal wells are wells that only really activate at a certain point in time when prices are high enough to sustain their relatively high cost of production. I've literally seen far too many. It's going to leave a mark, but I've literally seen a lot of $6 gas prices. Regular gas starts at somewhere in the low to mid fives, and then you step up from there to medium to premium, and that can be $5.80, $5.90, sometimes $6, depending on which gas station it is, where it is, whatever. I don't even know what all that is, because it's I don't know. I've seen Chevron in Lodi, for instance. It's there's 2 other gas stations around the corner, and they're selling $6 premium, and you can go around the block and get you can get it at $5.80 or $5.70 or something, but still ridiculously high, historically high. So I'm surprised. Like, I guess these wells have to be like just dead dry, because if you had a marginal well right now, I mean, I don't know if they can just be turned on and turned off just like that, but it may take a little time to get going, or you have to have like a crew come out and undo all the steps they had to do to shut it down in the first place, etc. I don't know all the vagaries of it, but if I had oil that I could get to right now, boy, I mean, I'd be thinking that's a good bet. I mean, obviously, on the subject of gas prices, we know why the gas prices are so high. I should probably just kind of put it on cruise control here. Try not to get a speed ticket or something. We know why they're so high. They are high thanks to one man. Oh, damn it. They're high. Sorry, I dropped something there. I'm not going to be able to get it until I... Alright. They are high because of one guy whose name is Vladimir Putin, who is... Oh, this is interesting. Alright. I don't think I'd seen that before, with a little small solar panel array there. That's another, like, just looking for, like, highest and best use of land. Maybe some of this land actually gets converted to solar. It's not necessarily, like, the best agricultural land in the world, even though they say it is. Anyway, that's a whole that's a related topic, but I just had not seen that before in this little stretch, so I haven't been through here. Well, I did come through here in, what was it, June, I guess, or when did I start that trip? May? Yeah. No. June, right? Oh, God. Anyway. Well, anyway, that's the last time I've been through here, and I may have come through at night. I don't think so. Oh, yes, I probably did. Yeah, okay. No. Anyway, well, here's the point. I'll memorialize this on both video and audio, and this will be very cool. So yeah, we've got a war going on in Central Europe. Just a tragedy. I mean, like, it's not really even a war. It is, of course, a war. But what I'm saying, it's not like two sides were these belligerents and they, couldn't settle their differences, and then they were like, we're going to war. There's war. It's a completely one-sided, aggressive invasion by a large power, a large country. A large country with a large nuclear stockpile. Like, I don't know how large the power is overall. That's been being demonstrated, but it's a war of aggression, and it's basically there's war crimes happening, on the 8s, and it's just it's fucking brutal, and it's tragic, and it's stupid, and it's just counter to everything that we've, I keep harkening back to the Pink Floyd album, The Final Cut, which is like really more like, they call it sort of like Roger Waters' first solo album, because he didn't really have a lot of the band's input on that one. It's really more his whole project. But anyway, there's some really poignant moments in that album, and he has a theme that he's talking about, which is called the post-war dream, which war being World War II, and just that like world order that got established. We kind of like, it took a minute, but the whole idea was we were putting an end to colonialism and imperialism, and Western democracies were the standard. Well, at least we thought they were. Well, they were. But of course, we were like immediately engaged in this sort of ideological whatever confrontation with Soviet Russia with their system of communism. But nonetheless, basic concepts of like justice and there not being war crimes, prosecuting those bad guys who did all the fucking Nazi shit, okay, so now we're starting to go up here a bit, and these trucks start to like really struggle going on up here. And boy, I mean, the one thing about this whole $6 a gallon stuff that's going on is, holy mother of God, the diesel prices have shot through the roof. Well, all right. Anyway, So anyway, I've got those Roger Water lyrics in my head when I think about this whole thing, and it'd be a complete abrogation of that whole thing. And obviously, like Trump's, Trump was the first, sort of canary in the coal mine in terms of, and this is all being driven by Putin. I mean, Trump was Putin's puppet. Everybody knows that. And so, anyway, we've got a lot in our favor, Western democracies do, but I mean, we've been under a little bit of a siege, information warfare, election meddling, one of these guys, like a few of these authoritarian guys popping up in what were considered to be basic Western democracies. It's on. That's the other thing I'm thinking of is like the response so far. We're about 2 weeks into this whole catastrophe. Sorry. We're 2 weeks into this catastrophe, 15 days, and there's always like you think about like some movie about the future and some conflict that takes place or something, and there's you could have a cynical portrayal of, say, the American people's reaction to things, which would be like them completely just sobbing out all their privilege and everything relative to like gas prices and how dare anyone, and the administration's getting it all wrong, and blah blah blah. But it's actually been quite a bit of it seems like, and polling indicates this, and you can just kind of tell like people's sentiment and stuff. People kind of get it, like I said, it's on. It's like they know. It's like, hey, an aggressive Russia willing to like just take over countries is a repeat of a pattern that we never want to repeat again. Starting in 1939, it doesn't end well. It like So there's been a sentiment reported anyway through the news that like people are, what they say, willing to take the pain at the pump to tell Putin to go fuck himself. That it's kind of a transactional thing, but I think it's built on a more fundamental sense of what being an American is and what our role in the world, and just the fact that, like, Putin's just not a good guy. I mean, he's just not a good guy, and it's just been embarrassing to watch the Republican Party try to build this guy up, and even like as the invasion was about to start, or you had Trump calling him a genius and telling everybody how savvy he was for doing it, and then Mike Pompeo came out and was like, I have so much respect for him, for Putin, I just have an extraordinary amount of respect, It's like, man, I really hope, and I don't know this, but I really hope this is kind of an inflection point of sorts in terms of get into these things too, where slow-going trucks will try to pass other slow-going trucks, but eventually, like when it starts to get kind of really going here, I think, if I recall correctly, they have some truck lanes, and so they open it up a bit. But yeah, it can be a little challenging in that regard. We used to come through here in the old Mercedes diesels. I've taken this hill with a car that was putting out I think 68 or 69 horsepower, and a little challenging, but we made it. I didn't have it weighed down with anything. I mean, if I had shitloads of luggage in the trunk, it'd be a different story, but just me, little bag, that's it. So yeah, but anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So now we've got Putin has overreached, obviously, and it's unpredictable just what that means. It also, I should say, it's like, for anybody who's a little bit like me, you kind of have to have your wartime consigliere hat on, or you have to be like armchair wartime consigliere, because there's this point where sometimes I don't know, people could say, well, this guy's nothing's going according to his plan, and that looks like that's the case, but with Putin and his fucking duplicitous, just absolutely evil nature, you just don't know. I'm not saying the guy's been super successful at everything all the time. I mean, he's pretty much any success he's had has been achieved by brute force, which is what he's trying to do right now. But I don't know that he's some kind of grand master of the world chessboard, though. He did give us a run for our money in 2016, and boy, we can't allow that to happen again. It seems like we're back on track, and now he's kind of on the ropes a little bit. But what I'm getting at is boy, I just worry about the scenario, of crazy like a fox kind of thing, where, and I think that the people who work in the national security circles kind of think like this, in the back of their mind, or even the forefront of their mind is are we being played? Are we being played? There's been all this And understandably, people want to fix a problem, a very big problem. Slow down here a little bit. Curves here. Look at this though. Isn't this nice? It's a very, very kind of nice time of day to get it. Longer shadows of the sun and whatnot. But we just don't know where he's ostensibly he was just trying to invade Ukraine and take it over, but that's almost so stupid that it just doesn't really fit what you think of when you think of Putin, who's for all his many faults, people would probably describe him as being stupid. And that's where some of this talk about has he blown a gasket? Has he has the computer chip melted? Did the fan not go on? All these concerns about his mental state right now, because it just doesn't make any strategic sense what he's trying to do. I mean, other than he had this grandiose idea that he would do something and the West would cave entirely, and his army would just be greeted as liberators, as Paul Wolfowitz said. And by the way, whatever happened to Paul Wolfowitz? I mean, maybe he's writing articles in some obscure foreign policy magazine nowadays, but I haven't not seen him poke his head up in a long time. Thank God. Anyway, it doesn't make sense that he would think that he could just do this and nothing and no, and I think he may have been surprised. I think everybody was surprised. I mean, reasonable people who were anti-Putin and were kept hearing the build up to this thing, hey, if he Biden would say hey, if he goes in, we are going to come down on his ass hard with sanctions. And everybody thought, sanctions. I mean, sanctions. I mean, we've been hearing sanctions not just in terms of Russia, but every rogue state for a long time. And if only we could just put a sanction on somebody and be like, oh, now they don't want that, so they're gonna reverse course and do what we want or whatever. That's just not how sanctions go. But these sanctions, as we've put in place, are very, very comprehensive and very just not just comprehensive, but aimed at his soft underbelly, and very strategic in a way, and very they're hardcore. We ain't playing. I mean, it'll take a while, and we don't know again how that all unfolds. But I mean, we're basically isolating Russia. They can no longer right now basically be anything of an economic player in the world at all. They still have critical materials, minerals, obviously oil and gas, but I mean, we're just basically we took the ruble out to the backyard and shot it in the back of the head, and just everything else, just tons and tons of shit that I think it's going to be meaningful. Oh, look at that! You see that tunnel right there? Hopefully, that's a railroad tunnel. You can actually I think there's some kind of train, a kind of a touristy kind of train, steam train kind of kind of thing that you can ride. Like there's like some stretch over this pass that goes through all these mountain things, and yeah, I don't know if they're still doing that, but I know at one point they were, and kind of a cool thing. I don't think those I don't think you're going to see a Union Pacific go through there. I don't think these are like modern level facilities, but I guess that was like the way to go back in the day. But anyway, yeah. So anyway, the whole point was like, all right, this whole thing looks like a stupid gambit, and it's just blowing up in his face in many ways. He's killing his own country. He's killing his own country's economy. He's having to shut down like all the he's having to go in full totalitarian Stalinist, just domestically, internally. Everyone's saying like whatever progress Russia's made economically in the last 25 years, basically since the mid 1990s, since the ruble crashed in 1998, and they defaulted. Like all that, it just in about a week's time, just got utterly destroyed. And for what? I mean, you cannot put those two things on a scale and say, well, he could be in, he could expand the country. And you put that on one scale, one end of the scale, and then put the fact that he's like completely destroyed his own country. It'll take a while, but he's a walking zombie right now, a walking dead. Put that on the other side of the scale. Well, that doesn't really pay off. That goes to the whole question of him being rational, and that goes to the whole question of it like being like, well, maybe we're not getting something about his rationale. And people are talking about end games right now, but who the hell fucking knows? This could be like just the beginning of some kind of like fucked up, weird, hopefully not, like when we talk about World War III, we always associate that with being a nuclear exchange and probably a civilization ending, if not species ending nuclear exchange. But who knows? Maybe World War III could be non-nuclear. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, not to say he has something up his sleeve. Is he thinking like all these different moves ahead that we're like, wait, that would be just absolutely stupid. That would be so dumb. Irrational, like bonk. We can't like contemplate it in our own minds because it'd be so dumb, seemingly. But if it's in conjunction with move 1 and move 2 and move 3 and move 4, and even if none of those moves by themselves make themselves successful, like he doesn't take Ukraine, he doesn't do whatever, he doesn't, but en masse he's like changing the strategic dynamic in his favor somehow. And I'm just speculating here. I'm just throwing out stuff to be like, hey, don't just like sit on your laurels and think like, oh, this guy's so stupid. Let's just fucking wait till he fucking falls on his face and that'll be that. It's like, gotta be thinking, gotta be gaming out more scenarios than that, let's just say. right there. Hopefully you can see that sign, but it's like, yeah, $6.49 for diesel. Like, just even like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, there was this whole concept of this trucker brigade going to Washington D.C., trying to like mimic the Canadian trucker convoy thing that showed up in Ottawa. Kind of come up to work there. It works there a little bit, but eventually got kind of broken up and stuff. But and look at all those windmills. Anyway, those are all the GE 1.5 megawatt jobbers. Anyway, can't stay on topic. Yeah, so like now, like just a couple weeks later, fucking diesel is at like $6.50 here, and that's like over $1 over regular gas. And usually, like in theory, diesel should be less than regular gas because it doesn't take as much effort to just distill it from crude oil. But due to the sort of different constraints on our refinery systems and different demand levels and stuff, you can see it like right now. It's like it's way above regular, probably just because of like, I don't know, refineries shifting to make more gasoline, or I don't know what, but this whole energy situation is very interesting. Kind of an interesting segue with the windmills there. I was doing this little thought experiment last night, and it was actually not just a thought experiment. It was more of like a spreadsheet exercise, because this guy on Twitter had asked this question about like, just making a note of like, okay, we just announced that we cut off Russian oil imports, and there's some doubt as to whether we were even importing anything anyway, but somewhere on the scale of like 500,000, 750,000 barrels a day, it could have been, and just to put that in context, we're consuming roughly about 20 million barrels a day, and we've through the whole fracking sort of revolution, I guess if you want to call it that, U.S. production has kind of gone up over the last, say, decade or more, from a fairly paltry, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 million barrels a day domestic production to say 16 million barrels in 2020, and so we've really we've been able to increase the amount that we can produce, although whether we can sustain that on the long run is anybody's guess, but probably the oil companies know, but I don't know. I've heard different accounts of that. But anyway, we're talking about renewable energy, and I had this idea of like, okay, so well, anyway, somebody on Twitter like, pointed out this whole Russian, like, quantity of Russian oil we get, and I was kind of asking the question of like, like, the last like 5 or 10 years, just in terms of like cars and stuff, like what they call light vehicles, like this one, which is actually a little SUV kind of thing, but which is what he was upset about. But he was saying, like the percentage, like overall, like if you think about it in terms of like yearly sales, and there's a pie chart, you go like, all right, how many, cars, like just pure, little cars that more gas efficient cars are we buying versus, say, like SUVs or what they call light trucks, like the F-150 or whatever. And the smaller car wedge is shrinking, and the bigger like light truck kind of deal is increasing, and that's, you know, having an impact on our overall like average economy, just overall American light vehicle fleet. Gas, miles per gallon, like average. Like, because if you're representing, so there's like 253 million cars in use in the United States, and it came out to be about, like, if you just do rough calculations on, like, okay, we consume this much gas, we have these many vehicle miles traveled, you get to about an average of 23 miles a gallon is what we're getting out of the entire fleet across the entire United States. And that would be higher if we had not if people like me weren't buying GLC 300s. Damn it! But, sorry, I laughed, but I'm not driving it that much, you know. But anyway, like, I ran through his numbers, and I'm like, yeah, this all kind of, like, it all makes sense. Things like, average miles per vehicle pop out at, like, 13,000 something, which is like, okay, yeah, that that's totally believable. Like the 23 miles a gallon, whatever, like it's 22.7, but the thing is that so I was coming at it from in my mind, like during the day, I was coming at it from a little bit different perspective. I was like, all right, we just shut off Russia from the United States oil supply. I mean, we don't import from them anymore. We probably don't export to them either, but that's a whole other fucking thing. But anyway, so this guy came up with like the like say 750,000 barrels a day, and so he was like kind of showing that, if we hadn't like had this increasing light truck wedge and a shrinking just basic small vehicle wedge, we'd not even need the oil in the first place. So yeah, funny how that is. But I was coming at it from a perspective of, well, how many like electric vehicles, if I could like quote wave a magic wand and put X number of vehicles on the road right now and replace whatever gas thing is, whatever, like my own, like let's pretend like, okay, I trade in my GLC 300 and I get an electric, maybe one of those electric F-150s, hey? Well, hey. I don't know. I hope they make an electric Bronco, actually. They're talking about doing that. You know what looks cool is, like, they have this electric Mustang, but it's a, like, I guess you'd call it a utility vehicle. It's not, it doesn't really actually look like a Mustang. It looks more like a Porsche Cayenne or something, or the Ford's version of a Porsche Cayenne. It's pretty cool looking. Yeah. Note to self. Put a pin in that one. Ooh, high winds. Oh dear. Oh. now we're kind of getting on the other side of this mountain. And you kind of see, it just kind of goes into this flat land desert. We're going to be on our way to Mojave, California next. That's our next big stop. I got to keep an eye on my gas. God, what, 85 miles? I don't think it's like that bad, but they do start to like, as you get into this, I don't know exactly where. Oh, Mojave is right here. Huh. I didn't realize it was that close. Yeah. I feel like I'm done recording, but well, anyway, you get these signs saying like no gas for X number of miles, and I kind of had to fill up. Although I just can't remember off the top of my head like when that starts and versus. And this 58 has gotten a lot better. Like they have it as like a 2-lane highway everywhere and stuff. So, well, let's see. I guess we'll get off. Mojave. Going off right. Exit here. California City. All services that way. That's what I was looking for. Okay. Oh, damn. This is gonna be okay. Well, we got a little more time, I guess. To. Okay. Could have just gone. Couldn't see around that guy. I've actually stayed in Mojave. It's yeah. People live here. Anyway, so anyway, the question that I had was like, how many electric vehicles, if I waved to match one, would be needed right now if I could just transform X number of cars into electric vehicles? What would basically, given all the givens, which are like, people drive, 13,000 miles a year, and their existing fleet average is X, and et cetera, et cetera. Just taking a lot of that stuff as given, which I think is fair. The BNSF. Oh, I said the Union Pacific before. I forgot the BNSF is what's down here. Yeah, so anyway, I went through the math, and it came out to be about 2 million electric vehicles. If we could just transform 2 million of our current vehicles into electric vehicles. And one of my assumptions is that, this isn't quite right, but it's basically right in the sense of like oil imports and gasoline. Basically, I think it'd really pull this off. You have to like get a bunch more solar. But I was reading about like, I don't know, like all of a sudden there's been a surge in solar panel buying or something on a massive scale, and in reaction to this whole like potential energy crisis that we're trying to stave off with this Putin thing. But anyway, yeah, 2 million electric vehicles, and the assumption would be, like I said, it's like that there's no like fossil fuel input for powering the things. And so again, with like I know people can get all well, wait a minute, did you consider how much fossil fuels you would need to build the damn solar panels or the cars or what? I know. I can't really, like, if I'm pulling out a magic wand, I mean, some of these assumptions are just going to have to, like, kind of go, hey, this is just rough math. I mean, this is, as they say, good enough for government work. And, okay. Let's see here. And that's all I was trying to get at, is just that. that shell. Half a mile ahead. Okay. Let's see what they have in store here. I really balk getting anything $6, even though I'm in Mojave, and probably not the best place to have gotten gas, but well, $5.79 at. Oh, by the way, my SUV is, of course, like beholden to premium unleaded. Mercedes premium unleaded. Great. That's just great. How happy we are with that now. $5.99. Oh, I hate Arco. Oh yeah, here's another one. Chevron's down there. I'll look for another one here. But, this is what life is like. Life during wartime. Going to gas station, looking for a price that you can stomach. See, I mean, look at this. Chevron, $6.19. It's like, dude, you know, right up the street, right here, even, it's like $5.99 at Valero. That's kind of a lot. Alright. Yeah, this is life during wartime. I'm like, oh, well, how can I save a penny or two on my fucking gasoline? Putting out the fire. There's $5.65. I mean, shit. That looks good to me. There we go. As long as I don't get hit. Okay. A little dicey there, but oh man, look at this. Oh boy. I saw on Fox they were talking about like, oh shit. Fuck. God damn it. Fucking that there would be that there were gas lines. And it's like, okay, oh, yes, we got something here. All right, but yeah, I guess, you know, like, sorry, you know, like, if fucking Chevron's gonna charge fucking $6.20, and this place is gonna charge less. There might be lines at the one that has less. So, all right, that's gonna do it. I think this was a good, cool thing. I've wanted to do this for a while, for a long time. Wanted to do a voice memo concurrent with a video. That's what I did today. So, all right.